Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. Welcome back to Hinamisawa, and therefore welcome back to chapter 1 of this story, Onikakushi. Um, yes, back, even though it's chapter 1, because we are gonna continue this story. Chapter 1 of the visual novel series, but chapter 9 of Onikakushi. Um, I'm very, very excited to play this, honestly, and I am also very, very scared. Last time that we were here, we swallowed what appeared to be metal, and we almost died by the hands of Rena and Mion. And my God, dude, honestly, like the game has been picking up like an amazing pace when it comes to compelling horror story. After being so freaking amazing, wholesome and cute in the first chapters, this is still quite amazing, quite awesome to play, but still, you know, um, very different to what I started playing. So we're gonna go ahead and load. Yes, exactly. It's been quite a while since I last played this, but every day since I played this, I've been thinking about it, believe it or not. I've been falling in love with this series and I want to continue it and I want to look up more, but I've just been, caught up in life to actually go ahead and continue it as I want to. But now we're here, thankfully, and we're gonna go ahead and continue it and hopefully soon finish Onikakushi. So here we go. We're gonna continue. My God, dude, I'm scared right now. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of muffled footsteps is stopped in front of the door to my room. Hold on. Let me go ahead and do this with keyboard rather than the mouse. Alright. There you go. A moment of silence, as if whomever they belonged to was certain in if I was inside. Of all things, as you have been doing, I continued on with my restless slumber. I was very much conscious, but my body hadn't caught up yet. Okay, hold on. Let me put this right here. There you go. Even with danger bearing down on me from just beyond the door, it was as if I was completely paralyzed, unable to move. Without a doubt, this was sheer terror. Please, just leave. Hey, why isn't my body awake yet? If they came into my room right now, then uh oh, holy cow! Hold on, I'm looking for my headphones and my volume. What's the matter, Keiichi? Sorry. Hmm. I was still half asleep. I thought it was still 1 or 2 a.m. But the morning sun was already steaming through the gap between the curtains. Honestly, man, I wouldn't go to school if I was Keiichi. It felt nothing like morning. Yesterday, I must have fallen asleep right after that. Then I should have gotten a full 10 hours of rest. But it didn't feel like that at all. My internal clock was completely screwed up and my sense of balance felt off. I felt feverish enough that it was clear to me that I was still not well. Well, Keiichi? How are you feeling? Can you make it to school? I will say no. Honestly, I don't want to go to school after what happened yesterday. I felt far from unwell enough. No, I wasn't mentally fit to go. I was still plagued with the terror from yesterday. If I had swallowed that needle, what would have happened? What if he had pierced my tongue? There was undoubtedly a murderous intent, but I don't think that's all it was. If they really wanted to kill me, then there were other, more simple ways to do it. They wouldn't resort to such a dubious method as having me swallow a needle. I guess that he does have a point. I'm guessing that what he's referring to is that probably they just want to torture him rather than kill him. Meaning I didn't want to believe it, but going that far was just a threat from Rena and Mion. Aren't you glad you didn't die? But next time we'll use a more assured method. It's funny because when I first started playing this, I botched the pronunciation of Rena and called her Rena. But no. I apologize for that. Those cringy first episodes, Rena, it is the name. It is the correct name. I'll not make that mistake again. I promise. Like that. Something like sending a letter with a razor inside will have been a joke compared to this. Did you make it to the hospital? Did you take your medicine? Yeah, kinda. Something about my mom's dubious gaze bothered me. She seemed more concerned about her son missing 2 days of school rather than him being sick. Ugh, it was definitely mental fatigue. I wasn't really physically ill. It'll be hard for you to get back on track once your daily routine is thrown off. Come on, get up. They say wellness is a state of mind. I heard that line many times before. I was given an award in elementary school for having perfect attendance, but it wasn't like I was healthier than everyone. Come on, go wash your face. Breakfast is already ready. There isn't much time before Rena-chan comes and gets you. Mom's stone, man, I couldn't argue about it, so I had to give up on skipping a second day. By the way, were you the one who being paced all over the living room wall, Keiichi? You shouldn't do something like that. Your father was quite angry. I didn't feel particularly good for doing it, so I didn't have much of a reaction. Also, Mom didn't question me any further about it. That's honestly very, very odd. If you see a behavior like that, you should question it. You go ahead and ask, what the fuck is what were you thinking? What were you doing? Right? She headed back downstairs after she was certain I was getting up. What Mion said as she left yesterday. I hate it if you miss the school tomorrow. Came back and dwelled in the back of my head. What did she mean by that? I didn't have to really think about it. She was saying, don't be absent. Taking that a bit further, it was the same as her saying I should just go about living my life as if nothing had happened. If I showed any signs of acting unusual, it would probably result in them making their move. If I acted differently, someone like Oishi-san, for example, might end up noticing that something is up. Meaning, if I didn't watch my mouth or did anything differently from the norm, in effect, it would end up communicating something to those who were undesirable. And it seems that was something that the girls didn't intend to forgive. So, if I just went along with as normal, no harm would come to me. Was that how it was going to be? All that misery I experienced up until yesterday will almost creepily just fade away. It was an enticing deal. I would take it. Just by forgetting everything I'd seen or heard these last few days, I'd be able to keep on living a normal life. There's no way such a selfish thing could... I swallowed hard. I once deliberated on the idea that I had just rejected. Mion was probably a good person who had friends at heart. He was giving me, who had mistakenly broken some of the rules of theirs, a chance. Was what I did really something so unforgivable? But Mion had given me another chance. She was saying if I just forgot everything and kept on living long like I had been, I'd be forgiven. Keiichi, your food is going to get cold. Hurry up and get down here. Rena will be here if you don't hurry. Sounds like a threat. She will be here if you're not in time. What a difficult situation to be on, right? Because I trusted those girls. I have no idea. I'm honestly also kind of pissed off about the way that the mother is acting. If you see a strange behavior in your son, you should probably act upon that, in my opinion. But you know, what do I know? I guess. I'm coming. I crammed my textbooks into my bag and hastily made my way downstairs. I picked at my somewhat bland breakfast. It seemed that I didn't have much time. It was already past when I usually met up with Rena. Bro, come on, don't say that about your mom's food. Given yesterday's events, she'd probably be here in the next 5 minutes. I needed to be ready to head to school by then. I had to forget everything that had happened the past 2 days. Forget it all and return to my normal life. For this to be normal, I'll have to be where I normally meet up with Rena. Today of all days, the rice was dry and hard to get down. Ugh. Oh no. I jumped at the sound and dropped my chopsticks. That chime, a signal that Rena had arrived. Mom hurried me along. Come on, Rena-chan's already here. Hurry, hurry. I would love still an explanation as to why Rena was behind my door that one time, that even my dad saw her. That is honestly something that creeps me still. Creeps me up still, sorry. My mother's merry smile and my gloomy face were polar opposites. Honestly, I was reluctant to see Rena, who was waiting there on the other side of the door. The Rena on the other side, was it the Rena I knew? I couldn't keep her waiting. I needed to do things as usual. I'm fucking scared, dude. The scariest character in the story so far right there. I think it's crazy. She looks so normal. She looks so... You know, she looks like I at first shipped Rena and Keiichi. I thought that maybe that will happen, considering the fact that, you know, what happened on the Watanagashi festival. I was honestly like invested in the story, and I was like, you know, that will be, you know, it will be cute. And I thought at first I thought that maybe I knew that there was something that was gonna happen. This is a blind playthrough. I mentioned that before, but just in case, I know nothing about the series. I just thought that perhaps it will end up being like one of those Stephen King It stories, right? In which the kids face, well, they're not kids, they're teenagers, but still the teenagers face this scary clown and defeat him. Instead, it turned out to be something just, you know, it's insane. And man, Ren, I wish it didn't have to be this way. Why can you not act normal and be on my side? And I'm better getting forgetting filter in from across the doorway. Oh man. Kevin, since Keiichi-kun was a bit late, will he be okay today? I wonder. The manner in which Rena was concerned was, without a doubt, the Rena I knew. But that was probably only if I reciprocated. Forget everything from yesterday, pretend as though nothing had happened. Forget about the gruesome dismemberment. Forget about the mysterious deaths that happened the following years. Forget about the people falling to their death, and the terminal illness and the suicide, the fatal beatings and the disappearances. Forget it all. Forget all of it. Forget that Rena and me and we're scary. Of course, forget it all. Forget about all of it. You know, I don't know what I will be able to do. I will probably give it a shot and pretend like everything is normal for now, because honestly, I like, at least for now, and then talk about it with somebody. Maybe with, I don't know if my mom and dad care enough, but like maybe later on. I don't fucking know, because like I can't. I don't know if I will be able to deal with this. Forget about the mochi. Sorry, I still don't know. Forget. Maybe it was a bad dream. Maybe none of it happened. I don't, like, you know, I will be, because everything seems so surreal the way that it escalated, that it will be like, hey, maybe let's try living this normal life, and let's see if the things that I learned the past couple of days happen to materialize. Because if they do, then okay, it wasn't a dream, and then I have to act upon it. Maybe I don't know. It's just, hello, Rena. I don't fucking know. Rena once again asked me to make sure. Can you make it to school? Yeah, I'm fine. Great. Then let's go. Mi-chan is waiting. Rena showed me her usual bright smile. I couldn't find any hint of deceit in her expression. My nervousness dissipated, giving way to my relief. Oh, that was scary. The boss was fucking me up, let's just say that. Oh boy. But you see, Satoko-chan was so insistent she could do it. As we were talking, Rena talked about a lot of different stuff, more so than usual. Then, okay, Satoko-chan is so Satoko-chan is clumsy, so she failed no matter how many times she tried. Oh, she was so cute. She was so cute. Everything Rena talked about was just so nonsense, so I just replied every so often and laughed from time to time. It was rather a rather laid back conversation. We passed by one of our neighbors and they called out to us. Oh my. Why do you care? Oh my, Keiichi-chan and Rena-chan, aren't you two a bit late today? Mion-chan said she was going on ahead. Ah, that's why you care. I was like, why do you care of all people? But I guess it's because Mion told you that. Uh-oh. Did Mi-chan look mad, I wonder? I wonder. Dude, I love her little thing. Her little, like, I forgot the name of it, but the thick, right? Like, hey, I wonder, I wonder. I wonder, I wonder. We need to hurry up, Keiichi-kun. After greeting her neighbor with a smile, Rena turned back to me and poked her tongue out. Not expecting that, I couldn't help but crack a smile. Ah, Keiichi-kun smiled. What? Rena stopped and stared at me. Okay. I was thinking that you still hadn't recovered from your cold, since you seemed down this morning, Keiichi-kun. But now you seem fine. As fine as I can be, yeah. With a grin, she gently poked my cheek. It was a bright, sincere smile. Hey, Keiichi Maibara. How can you still doubt Rena after she shows you a smile like that? I still doubt her, dude, not gonna lie. But you know, it's a fair assessment of the situation, I guess. Maybe I just had a high fever up until today, and I imagined everything that I thought happened because I was berate and delirious. I really hope that was the case. If God will grant me just one wish, there's only one thing that I wish for. I will want what had happened in the past few days, more specifically, from the night of the Watanagashi up until last night. I want it all to have never happened. Yeah, like, you know, bring back Tomitaki-san. I wonder how many times I wished for these things this past few days. As long as Rena kept on smiling like this. I don't know why it's up like my nose is always itchy when I stream or when I record a video or something. I apologize. I think it might just become a reality. So I wanted Rena to keep on smiling. Keep on smiling. So, Keiichi-kun. Fuck. So, Keiichi-kun, those monkey yesterday, did you eat them all? That vain wish of mine was instantly shattered. Oh! My heart began palpitating. The relaxed morning mood suddenly became frigid. Rena's smile was the same as usual. Her eyes were gentle as usual. Those monkey yesterday, did you eat them all? Of course, she wasn't asking the question at face value. In other words, Rena was asking, did you get the message? She was probably trying to convey that. Keiichi-kun? I was reluctant to give an answer. Rena stopped walking and stared deeply into my eyes. Um, don't hesitate, Keiichi Maebara. Rena was acting the same as always, wasn't she? I needed to respond in my usual way. Naturally, of course. But both my throat and my mouth had gone dry, and my lips were stuck together. Hurry up and answer, Keiichi. Not that much time had passed. I could still keep the conversation going naturally. I had to say something quickly. The Rena playfully mimicked what I said when I finally squeaked out something out. Rena's reaction was still normal. It seems that there wasn't as long of a pause as I had thought. Somehow I finally squeaked out the rest. Delicious. However, my strained efforts neither sullied nor brightened Rena's expression. For a moment I panicked, thinking I had replied incorrectly. But after a few moments, Rena broke into her usual soft smile and giggled with a joyful voice that seemed to echo through the morning air. Being strung along by that laugh, I couldn't help but laugh as well. I see. So did you eat all of them? I wonder. I wonder. My timid smile froze again. Oh my fucking god, dude! Why is this intense? Did you make it without sewing that sewing needle? Was that what she was asking? If I had swallowed it, then I wouldn't be here. Nah, I couldn't finish all of them. There's still some left. I was scared out of my wits, but that's how I played it. Huh? What about the homework to see if you could tell which one Rena made? Yeah, I remember that. That's why I was worried. I thought that maybe Keiichi had thought about that before. Apparently he didn't. That homework, was it due today? Yeah, it's due today. Uh-oh. Mei-chan will get angry. There's probably a penalty ready for you. Oh. We both laughed at each other again. To a casual observer, it was just a typical morning. If I could just let myself believe, then even I think it was just the usual morning routine. But I was certain I wasn't mistaken. There was something unimaginable buried beneath the facade of this giggling Rena. Lies! I recalled that unexpected piercing voice that I could hardly believe came from Rena's mouth. The moment that I imagined that image crossed my mind, I felt a cold sweat trickle down my back. Was it only at that particular time that something evil had possessed Rena? No, that was wrong. That was still Rena. Oishi-san told me, didn't he? Actually, I looked into her before. Before Ryugu-san moved away to Hinamizawa, she was suspended from school. It seems she went through her school building and broke all of the windows. Fuck! Rena had a disorder that normal people didn't. No matter how pleasantly she smiled, the fact will not change. But I couldn't even imagine how she looked as she broke all the glass throughout the window, through the school. One thing I knew was that it wasn't something a spur of the moment. If it was a sudden outburst of anger, then maybe she'd break a pane or two. But she broke all of the windows all throughout her school. Just imagine going through all your own school breaking the windows with a bat. Holy cow! Swinging full force at each pane of glass, one after another, paying no heed to the flying shards. Your classmates aghast, unable to move from the sudden turn of events. I wonder where she could have found the most windows lined up in a row. Probably the hallway. Okay. It's still not. I don't know, man. It was difficult for me to connect that horrifying image with that Rena that's smiling at me right now. But I just had to imagine it. Impossible because it was unimaginable. That naive way of thinking and no longer worked. The unpleasant piercing sound of shattered glass, the crunching noise as Rena treads across the broken shards, walking towards me. Rena's classmates going pale as they forget to even breathe. I wonder what they did as Rena came closer, breaking windows along her path. Did they earnestly try to bring her to her senses by saying something? Or did they jump at her, trying to stop her cybergy? Or did they run to the staff room to call for the teachers? Probably none of those. In the face of that blood-curdling sight of Rena busting window after window, undoubtedly, all they could do was silently clear a path for her. Dumbfounded, just clearing the path for Rena to continue. It would be cruel to blame anyone for looking the other way. No, they weren't simply looking the other way. They knew it was the only way they could protect themselves. If they had done something differently from the rest, they may have suddenly found themselves as Rena's new target. What would Rena have done to whoever attracted her attention? The answer was obvious. She would have undoubtedly acted according to her whims. It's a little bit exaggerated, isn't it? Do we really know that she was ready to harm people? meaning I will be the next window. But can we compare ourselves to the windows? Really, I don't know, man. I mean, one thing is to hurt a material thing. It's not okay, okay? It's not okay to hurt material things when you're mad. But one thing is to get lost and decide in anger and decide to hurt things around you, and one thing is to hurt people, right? Rena is staring into my eyes, shards of glass crunching and crackling under food as she drew closer. I was also drawn into her eyes, paralyzed. Then Rena struck me with the bat over and over again, like I was one of those windows. I crouched down onto the floor, desperately protecting my head. Rena didn't care whether it was my head or my back. Ceaselessly, she hits me again and again. What kind of expression was she making as she was doing this over and over and over again? I peered up to see. Her expression was so different. It was completely unnerving. It's because no matter how many times she struck me, I didn't make as pleasant a sound as the other windows. She struck me continuously, over and over again. The sound Rena wanted didn't come out. Our classmates standing around didn't try to stop her. They didn't want to be the next window. Somebody save me. Turning a blind eye unless we're hanging out. But of course, everyone in class scrambled to obtain the highest standardized test scores. They get nothing from saving a cram school tryhard like me. Eventually, there will be a faint sound similar to when you crack open a walnut and some sort of reddish black spray will shoot out. Anyway, it wasn't that Rena momentarily lost herself in her anger. After forcing myself to breathe and calming down my heart, I recall what Oishi-san told me. And in the counselor's medical report, he recorded all of the conversations he had with Rena-san. It shows up. And quite a bit at that. What does? She mentioned the word Oyashiro-sama. Following that, Rena was suspended and had regular examinations at the hospital. Then, as Rena was undergoing counseling, she said it over and over and over. Oyashiro-sama. It seemed that Oyashiro-sama she spoke of was like a ghost appearing in her house every night, standing over her pillow looking down at her. Ugh. That was only a piece of their conversation, so I still couldn't see the big picture, but it was by no means a happy little conversation. Then, what Rena did was she saying that ghastly incident was a result of her being possessed by Oyashiro-sama. Up until now, I didn't want to believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's why I wanted to say the mysterious deaths every year happened because some sort of conspiracy. And I at first also thought so. I was pretty much convinced that was the case. Every time I talked with Oishi-san, I was more certain that the deaths were the work of men and not some curse. Sev, if it was people portraying the incidents, my friends were somehow deeply connected. If I refused to believe that the curse was real, then I would have to believe those who acted the kindest to me were deeply involved in the incidents. Why? How? For what reason? Was everybody... It was much more painful and troublesome than accepting that it was just Oyashiro-sama's curse. In the aftermath, Rena had admitted to her doctor that it was because she was possessed by Oyashiro-sama. He felt a strange sense of relief from that. So that's how it was. There wasn't a second side of Rena. She did that because she was possessed by something strange like Oyashiro-sama. It wasn't Rena's fault. Oyashiro-sama was the one to blame. I knew this was all backwards. Refusing to believe that there was a curse, I wanted there to be a human perpetrator. Now that my close friends were the ones under suspicion, I changed my beliefs at my own convenience, yeah. Saying it was Oyashiro-sama's curse to blame. Which was the better choice? Accepting that Oyashiro-sama's curse exists? That Rena and the rest of them were deeply involved in the string of mysterious incidents? I didn't want to think about it. If I just didn't think about it, I'd be able to continue the same way as always. I wanted to believe that. But that was no longer possible. I had received their message. It was pathetic of me to try and bend the meaning of my own convenience, regardless of whether my opponent were a human or a curse. I won't let it kill me. Ooh, as if I would just bend over and give in for no good reason at all. Keiichi-kun? You've been making a really weird face. I mean, yeah. I mean, imagine thinking all of this and coming to all of these conclusions. Plus, imagine having this thought of one of your best friends killing you, right? And possibly, according to what's been said already in the visual novel, also kind of like your crush slash friend killing you. Like I'm beating you with a bat. That's insane. Why? I wonder. I wonder. Inhaling sharply upon hearing Rena's voice, I came back to my senses. Before I had realized it, we were already at the entrance. Shaking my head a few times, I exercised all those terrifying thoughts. No matter how you looked at it, there's no way Rena could have done such terrible things. It was like I was trying to placate myself. Hmm. Hmm. As a sleep door opened, a blackboard eraser loaded with chalk dropped down on my head at the moment I stepped into the classroom. The chalk dust went into my eyes, inducing a brief moment of agony. I knew it. I knew it was Satoko-san. How befitting of the true Keiichi's, the true and Keiichi-san. Good morning to both of you, Keiichi and Rena. Hi, Rika. Good morning, Satoko-chan, Rika-chan. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's Satoko-chan, not Satoko-san. Sorry. So sorry. Oh, and Rika-chan. Alright. Not quite in the mood for it, I didn't really react to Satoko's trap. Satoko braced herself as I passed by, expecting me to attack her. She seemed a bit disappointed as I simply walked by silently. What is this? How discouraging indeed. Keiichi doesn't seem back to his usual self yet. Yeah, take it easy on him for today, okay? Aww. Suddenly, there was a slap down on my shoulder. It hurt a bit. Hey, Kei-chan, did you get enough rest? It was Mion. My mind was full with the stuff about Rena, but Mion was also a party of interest. I mean, yeah, 100%. Remember Keiichi? That hawkish gaze from yesterday. Yeah, morning. What's with that energetic greeting? Did you eat the mochi I brought you? I'm like this because I ate them. Those words were itching to be blurted out. I really just didn't have the appetite. I ate a few, but quite a lot were left over. Huh? What about the homework? Do you have an answer for which one was Rena's? Keiichi-kun said he forgot his homework. Jeez, then we can't help it. Time for your penalty. What are you gonna make me do? Flashing a lurid smile, Mion returned to her seat. There was nothing from our exchanges that would cause our classmates to suspect anything was amiss. But of course, anyone listening to a conversation up until this morning wouldn't see anything suspicious. That was why it was so frightening. They acted in a way regardless of whatever happened to Keiichi Maebara. No one will ever suspect them. The fact had me terrified. Soon the teacher came. After she asked how I felt and took attendance, another dull and ordinary day began. Okay. This is the start of chapter 10, I believe. Well, so far, so very interesting, I do have to say that. But still very scary from time to time. And, Keiichi is obviously fucked up at this point in time. This free study period was a competing time to consider where I stood. I gently closed my eyes and pondered this ridiculous position I was in right now. First of all, what I shouldn't forget, Was how dangerous of a situation I was in. I had fallen out of favor with them. After interacting with Oishi-san multiple times, I could see it as I was getting closer to the heart of the matter. The warning yesterday with the monkey was a good indicator of that. No, calling it a warning was just my habit of understanding things. It probably had no meaning beyond stunting my progress and buying themselves some time. Until they had a method of completely erasing me. They were just biding their time. My god, dude. This dude is growing more paranoid and paranoid as we go on. Even though they were keeping me under their thumb with threats, it didn't change the fact I knew too much. The chilling sensation of my desk made me recall Satoshi Hoyu, the boy who was using this seat until last year when he disappeared. Was he also similar to me? Did he learn something he shouldn't have and was erased? Damn, I wouldn't let them get rid of me so easily. Never. But were they really trying to kill me? I've had these contradictory feelings for a while now. Even though I suspected them, I felt I had to cover for them. Even having witnessed all their suspicious behavior, a morning like this just made it all seem like an elaborate hoax. No, that's just what I want to believe. Doubting my friends? Covering for them? My life was in danger. Or was it? Actually, I was debating the wrong point. Given my current situation, those points were something that should have been deliberated for a long time ago. But really, Rena and the rest of them, were they actually aiming to kill me? The little voice inside me continued to torment me with these unresolvable trains of thoughts. Are you an idiot, Keiichi Maebara? The answer should be obvious. But maybe that sewing needle might have been just an accident, right? That is also a thing. You know, it's very fucking scary that maybe it was an accident. What if it was just an accident and you're going paranoid over nothing? How could you screw up and drop a sewing needle into a piece of maki? The benefit of the doubt could only go so far. Okay, well, never mind me then. I don't know. It's a possibility, is it not? I'm just saying. But Rena and Mion had acted and behaved suspiciously, but maybe it was all some sort of misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? It wasn't just suspicious, it was outright ludicrous, right? Rena just corrected me for lying, and Mion only asked me about what I had for lunch. Exactly, yeah. Rena was standing outside my door, eavesdropping for a solid hour. Yeah, that's the thing that I really cannot defend. I can come in and understand, like, okay, you know, this thing was happening, this thing was happening. I understand that. An accident of doing the monkey, that's okay. But standing there with my father as a witness for a fucking hour listening to my conversation, that I cannot defend. She was probably just waiting for my phone call to end. Was she? No. No, for a whole she was eavesdropping for a whole hour outside your room. And is it normal to go on afterwards without saying anything? No, that's not normal. That is the one thing that gets me, and that's what makes me be like, oh, I like Keiichi is in danger for sure. We're in danger. You heard from Oishi-san, didn't you? About what Rena did at her former school. But at the hospital, she said it was Oyashiro-sama's fault. She... Got it out, Keiichi Maebara? Don't you realize they're out to kill you? I inadvertently blurted those words out loud. Hearing myself say that so directly left me dumbfounded for a few moments. Afterwards, I had to look around to check if anyone else had heard it. I mean, the problem is this dude is also kind of stupid because, yeah, you didn't say that out loud. My little soliloquy got a little too close to the throat. Even though I could feel the murderous intent from Rena and the others, part of me somewhere was still trying to deny that. This late in the game, such hesitation could be fatal. I knew that. But I was just your average student, a man living his normal ordinary life. Do you think I could suddenly believe that my friends, who I had been happily laughing together with up until last Sunday, now intended to kill me? Right? You're too soft, Keiichi. This time I remembered to keep my voice down so only I could hear it. There was one thing I now understood. Wait a second. But like this time, I actually heard it way louder than everything else. Are you sure you're just, saying it whispering? I was too soft. I didn't completely understand how dangerous Rena and the rest of them were. Now, fuck. I was too sad for not listening to Oishi-san when he was earnestly showing me the heart of the matter. I didn't listen because I was too busy pretending to be dejected. I didn't comprehend it. I was just running away. I didn't comprehend it. So anybody had any notion to try and kill me? I needed to get rid of such naive thoughts. As I made that resolution, I heard the bell signaling at the end of the class. So soon. The day was already over. I didn't recall eating lunch or doing anything in class. Friends were putting their desks together in preparation for club activities. I would just run away. I just run away. Not long ago, I would probably have happily jumped into that circle. My, Keiichi-san. Ara. How rude of you to even think about leaving, bruh. The way Satoku spoke was so typical and familiar. It almost physically hurt. Huh? Keiichi-kun, is today not a good day, I wonder? And we were going to win a big together, huh? Seeing Rena's expression, which said she was really looking forward to today, was hard to take. Hey Keiichi, maybe Oishi-san is just an enormous jack trying to separate from the others by lying to me? This is insane! This circle of thought that we're having constantly is just unbelievable. Slap. Trying to expunge such weak-minded thinking, I slapped myself in the face. Keiichi-kun? Yeah, was Rena really trying to kill me? I wish someone would tell me it was a hoax. I didn't care if it actually was one or not. I just wanted someone to say it was. Yet another weak-willed thought. How did I ever become this naive? Are you alright? Does your head hurt? Apparently that was how my inner dilemma appeared to Rena. You're pale. Can you make it home by yourself? Maybe I should accompany you home? I wonder. No, it's okay. I'm sorry. I can get home by myself. Just have the meeting without me. Upon hearing that I wasn't going to participate in the club meeting, Mion pouted unhappily. Since Kei-chan was so bent on a revenge match, we were going to even play the deduction game from before too. I mean, but Mion, please understand that I'm fucking sick. Right? I'm not feeling well. I mean, the way that they're putting it, I'm pale too. So maybe I am physically still ill, even though like Keiichi is saying that he wasn't in the morning. Like the fact that I'm slapping myself constantly, well not constantly, but I slap myself in front of him, really goes to show that I'm not feeling well. How are you so as unsympathetic? Keiichi-san doesn't have the burning desire for a rematch. I understand Satoko because Satoko is always like kind of mean to me. But Mion, come on. How pathetic. I wouldn't fall for some dumb taunt. Without even a real retort, I just grabbed my bag and was about to get up. Someone's hand perched itself gently on my head. That's Rika. Keiichi doesn't seem to be well. Thank you, Rika. How very unfortunate. Thank you, Rika. Dude, I like Rika a lot. I think that she's a really cool character. I think that if I was in that high school somehow, some way, you know, being during back time, I would probably get along with her very well. She would be like my best friend because she's always like so calm and collected, and she has a really good vibes and she cares about others really. So you know, every time that Rika and Keiichi interact, I think that it's really like honestly really cool because it feels like a wholesome, truly caring interaction all the time. She really has those vibes, you know. Also, her character design just makes it look like she really cares. Instead of like, you know, Mion is very competitive but really cool as well. Satoko is really mean, but maybe she has her reasons for being it. I don't know. But you know, it's part of her character. You don't make every character the same way. Rena is really cute and she's meant to be, of course, looked at as well up until she starts acting weirdly. The Keiichi's crush, right? So I think they captured that very well. And indeed, Rika is just like, you know, everybody in that group of friends that you have in high school, you sometimes need that calm and collected head that keeps everybody like, you know, down to earth and checks on everybody. And I feel like that's Rika, and I think that's just really cool. I'm a big fan of her for sure. I'm just expressing my opinion on her character. Her character and the way she was reading Honestly, really, really cool. But that being said, if Rika-chan decided to start acting weirdly, I will probably just quit the game. I don't know if I could take that. Honestly, I'm very scared of that. She was stretched up as far as she could, doing her best to pat my head with her petite hand. It felt so nice, which made things even harder. Sorry, everybody. See you. Yeah. But at least she understood. Like, you know, Rika and Rena are the only ones who are, who are understanding what's happening. Rena, however, is still the big suspect. Satoko and Mion really don't have any sort of, you know, uh, empathy for me, it seems. That's all I said as I quickly left the classroom. They said something to me as I was leaving, but I couldn't make it out. I managed to make it all the way to the entrance in the state of mind, took out my shoes, put them on, and went forward. Forward. How did that hurt, Keiichi Maebara? They were, for some unfathomable reason, trying to kill me. They were plotting something dubious, watching my every move. But I couldn't hate them. Yeah, I can't hate them, and I still cannot believe that this is happening. I can understand maybe, like, Rena. I can kinda comprehend Mion. I don't understand Satoko and Rika. I think, again, I'm not a huge fan of Satoko. But I don't see her being a murderer or trying to kill me at all. I honestly, I just don't. I think that she doesn't have it in her. Um, and Rika, she doesn't seem at all any like in this plot, right? Like, yeah, let me go ahead and help people kill Keiichi because no, Rena and Mion maybe, but like I can't believe that he's thinking about all of the war, because weren't they my friends? Yes, but I lamented my naivety. While another lamented the fact that I had lost something important by lamenting over it in the first place. It felt like my personality was being ripped in two along with my body. If this is what Oyashiro-sama's curse was like, then it was just too harsh. Hey Oyashiro-sama, I was wrong for not believing in your curse, but I believe in it now, completely. Your curse does exist. So seriously, give me a break. I beg you, come on. Screaming the name of the foreigner's god, I guess. Can you imagine being in this type of situation in which you end up believing in a curse from a ghost or a spirit you didn't even believe in the first place when you arrived? It's insane. It's honestly insane, and begging for it to stop. It's just like pretty heavy. Dinner was unusually bland. It had no flavor or aroma. The miso, maybe he has COVID, dude. The miso soup that normally tantalized my appetite instead of tasted like nothing but boiled water. That was eating with us that night. It was a rare occurrence in this household. When Keiichi has daddy issues. When he got into his work, he ate and slept on his own schedule. My dad never cared about the time. Since my dad was at the dinner table, it either meant he had just reached a good point to take a break or he was just in a slump. So yeah, he doesn't understand the motivation creators have. Your partnership was a verbal agreement, wasn't it? If it's so hard to agree on things, why not just end it? I feel like it's an industry with a lot of back scratching. But when it gets in the way of business, I wasn't able to pick out much of my mom and dad's conversation, but I could tell it wasn't a very pleasant topic. Yeah, maybe his dad is having issues with money and work. That, of course, made the disgusting food even less appealing. Yeah. Staring listlessly at the change between my parents, my mind wandered off to the same thought process I had going all day long. My friends close to me. No, they used to be my friends, but I could no longer trust them right now. I was greatly lacking in allies. People I trusted, people I could depend on, which when push came to shove, they were something I just didn't have. Having just one ally would have been incredibly reassuring in the currently hopeless situation I was in. Well, you have Oishi-san. I put down, or you could talk to your parents, but I don't know. I put down my chopsticks and looked over at my parents, who were still talking about work. The first course of action that came to mind was to tell my parents everything. Please, look for help. Currently, there wasn't a single person from Inamizawa I could trust 100%. That meant the only people I could trust were my parents. But if I told them everything that happened up until now, would they understand? Rena, for example. The neighborly Rena, who was so diligent in looking after me, came to get me every day and sometimes brought over a share of what she made. How could I explain that she wanted to kill me? No matter how I explained it, it would probably be difficult for anybody to comprehend. My somewhat eccentric dad wouldn't understand, yeah. And my high-strung mom would probably drag me off to a psychiatrist in the blink of an eye. Well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they all need psychiatrists. I mean, it seems like the town has been through a lot. Right? Well, I'm just saying. But I don't know. I don't think this type of parents will give up on their life here in Amizawa for the sake of Keiichi. Sadly, that was the amount of trust that existed in our relationship. Yeah, I understand that. I can relate to that. Even if they didn't come to understand, what could they possibly do? Unless they could uncover the truth, they wouldn't be able to protect me. No, by informing them of these unnecessary things, I'd be putting my parents in danger as well. Considering the victims in past incidents were often married couples, I couldn't even joke about it. Well, that is true also. For the entire Mayabara family to have an accident or to just vanish into thin air, it was easily possible in Amizawa. Most important here was that knowing something unnecessary put you in danger. The most unsettling question was, how did they know that I knew? As long as they didn't know, my parents might not feel victim. That was one way of thinking about it, I guess. At least it was like that in my case. After I found out, things started to become odd. In other words, it meant the following. As long as my parents didn't know anything, nothing will happen to them. Which means that this house will be a safe haven as long as my parents were in. I knew these were just assumptions based on conjecture on top of conjecture, yeah. Wanted this house to be a safe haven. That was the pinnacle of my wild method of thinking. I had to concede that it was just not completely safe. It was only safer than the outside. I knew I couldn't rely on my parents. No, I couldn't risk getting my parents involved. Then the only person who could be my ally would be Oishi-san, him and him alone. He was the only person who understood the situation I was in. He didn't care so much about my safety, but he was without a doubt passionate about solving the case. It was a bit frustrating. Oishi-san was basically the whole reason I was in this mess. Not to get out of it, I had to rely on him. Meaning, it was all going according to his devices. It was just my job to look appetizing while bobbing in the waves as bait. Then when the fish started gathering around, Oishi-san would pull up the big hole. It was slightly infuriating, but even I thought that was the best course of action. So then what should I do? Patience was the first rule of fishing. Just keep waiting until the fish actually bites. But I wasn't simple bait. There were lots of ways for me to struggle before being devoured. When they struck, I needed to somehow dodge just enough and tag out Oishi-san. No question, it was going to be hard. The timing to bring Oishi-san in would be difficult. He was in the city, not in Amizawa. So if I found him in the moment of need, it would take him about 30 minutes to reach me. So I needed to run away for those 30 minutes. For example, if we set up a rendezvous point for dire situations or something, I just have to hide out there until Oishi-san arrives. Okay, I can almost see it now. I was still being chased around in the dark by boogeymen, but now I knew which way to go. I would never have imagined this would be so reassuring. Oh yeah, it would probably be best if I had concealed a weapon for when things got rough. Typically, that would call for a switchblade, but that wasn't too reassuring for combat. Also, since it was recognized as a weapon by the public, that also wasn't good. Really, when the time comes, a long weapon like a bat will work in my favor. I remember there was a metal ball at school. I could be confident with that when push came to shove. If I presented I was practicing my swing, then it wouldn't be suspicious for me to always carry it around. I could go to school early tomorrow and secure it. Just possessing a weapon may be enough to deter them. Also, one more thing, insurance. It could be something like a note or a memo. I could write down everything that's happening as a sort of journal. In case I suddenly vanish, the journal will be left behind. This dude is actually really fucking smart. With my journal in his possession, Oishi-san will be able to avenge my death. I let my parents engross in their conversation about work and went back to my room. I tore out a piece of paper from my notebook and made my way to my desk. Last time I wrote a journal was for summer homework in elementary school. In the off chance something bad happened, the police could use my diary as a lead. So I should only write down the facts. How should I start? I jotted down my thoughts as they came. I, Keiichi Maebara, am in fear of my life. Oh, for my life, sorry. It made me laugh nervously. It was a line that showed up often in detective stories. I never even dreamed that I will be in the type of situation where I'd write it myself. I do not know why they are after my life. Rena and the others were suspicious, but I had no proof. And that's why I couldn't write anything more. I laughed Riley at myself, Riley, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, at myself for writing such a passage trapped in mystery. Would the police be able to get the hint from reading this enigmatic passage? No! You have to write everything that you know. I could only play that it will. What I prayed for the most, though, was that this journal never needed to play part. Here I laughed nervously. It was too simple, so I wrote down one more line I just thought of. The only thing I do know is that it has to do with Orashiro-sama's curse. Was that too much? I probably shouldn't write more than that. If I wrote any more, then it would seem like I was delusional. In order to appear to the reader that the person who had written this was of sound mind, I chose not to write anything else at that point. I just needed to art as I learned more about the truth. I folded the paper and thought about a place to hide it. By hiding it somewhere obvious, there was a chance that they would uncover it instead. They. On the other hand, you see, if it was in a too obscure of a location, then there was the risk of nobody finding it at all. In the end, I decided to take the clock off my wall and stick my folded knot on the back of it with scotch tape. After that, I put the clock back in its normal position. Yeah, it didn't look like anything was hidden behind it. Now I needed to set it up like that, such that if anything happens to me, my parents could find it. I looked at it countless times from different angles until I was satisfied and I made my way downstairs. My parents were still talking about work. It didn't look like it was going to end anytime soon, so I cut it. I cut in. Sorry to interrupt. I have something I want to talk to you about. I never started off a conversation like that before, so my parents were both startled. They stopped talking and turned towards me. What is it, Keiichi? I have to ask of you, please. I have a favor to ask of you, please, sorry. Just in case, okay? If it's not urgent, can we do this later? Right now, mommy and daddy have something urgent they're talking about. I didn't think their thought was more urgent than mine. In any case, I started my request. Just in case, okay? If I die, both of my parents' eyes went as wide as saucers. If I die, I want you to put the clock on my wall in my coffin. If they did that, then they'd probably find it. My memoir. My memoir. I don't know. That is like, if you think this is slick and your parents aren't going to be suspicious of something happening right now, then I don't know what to tell you, Keiichi, honestly. But my parents remained wide-eyed, not moving an inch. I couldn't blame them. I made that clock in shop class and I really like it. So please, what's the matter? Keiichi, did something happen? Mom was finally able to ask me with a questioning gaze. Of course, this was a normal response for when someone's son suddenly talked about a subject like this. I felt bad about making them worry, but right now I just wanted them to think about the clock in my room. With the awkward move leaving the room in silence, I decided to go back up in my room. I want to get to school early tomorrow, so I'm going to bed. Good night. Saying only that, I left the living room. And the parents they didn't seem to care that much. They were scared, but like, come on. I needed to get to school early tomorrow and secure that bath. I should make today the last day I went to school with Rena. As I climbed the stairs, I heard my mom call my name, but I pretended not to hear her. It wasn't something I could talk about with my parents. If I talked about it, I would only make things more dangerous. The fight I had begun was mine and mine alone. I couldn't rely on anybody. I wouldn't be killed. Not when I was still knew nothing. Okay. Right, Higurashi when they cry. Was that it? Really? Was that chapter 10? That was chapter 10. Wow, okay. There you go. We unlocked an achievement called Chasing Shadows. I'm gonna go ahead and save. Yes, end of chapter 10. Amazing so far, really. But I'm very scared of the decisions Keiichi can make right now. I maybe I'm being naive too and thinking that they will not hurt me, honestly, and I'm being um kind of dumb for it. Let me look at the new tips. Not feeling so hot. Let's look at this one. Keiichi-kun's been feeling down lately. Maybe he's in a bad mood. I wonder maybe if he's on his period. Shut the fuck up. Mi-chan. Dude, Rena, you're a woman. Like, that's... you know, maybe you're immature. That's normal and natural. What the hell? Well, also, like, it doesn't happen to guys. At least not the same way that it happens to women. But, like, it shouldn't gross you out. In my opinion. What do you think? Don't know. Could be like Kei-chan. Maybe. I don't know. They know 100%. Wow. That day, Kei-chan was in that car talking to some to-be middle-aged guy, right? Yeah. No mistake. That Oishi probably fed him something fishy. He looked serious. Keiichi-kun's face was so pale. You see, you might not know this. He's actually the messenger of OYASHIRO-sama. What do you mean? Whenever he shows up, someone is demon away. No lie. You have to be kidding me. Is that so? The year before last, when Rika-chan's mom drowned. Oh my god. Right before that, she was visited by Oishi. Now that you mention it, he was around before Satoshi-kun transferred out too. So Satoshi transferred out. Transferred? You're so sweet, Rena. So apparently I'm sweet too because I believe so too. Wasn't he transferred out? So this time he's appeared before Keiichi-kun? What do you know, man? What do you mean about Satoshi didn't transfer out? So Keiichi-kun is going to be demon away too? An empty silence hung in the air, and then it was suddenly interrupted. By loud laughter. I don't understand anything. They were acting so preoccupied by me. I thought that they were preoccupied by me. I thought they were preoccupied. They were scared for me. They want me to be okay, and they don't want me to be demoned away. Why were they laughing? They were laughing because maybe they believe in the curse and they are happy that that's gonna happen. Is that a good thing in Amisawa? In Hinamisawa, apologize. Sorry for the mispronunciation, but you know what I'm saying. Or maybe are they happy because they will not let that happen? They will still kill me. They want to kill Eiichi. Are they happy? Why are they happy? Why are you happy? Why are you laughing? Are you laughing because you don't believe in the curse and it was all ironic? What was that? That's honestly so fucking strange. I don't understand. Do people in Misawa believe in the curse, yes or no? That it makes me believe that yes, due to the whole festival thing. Oh my god, dude. That was completely unexpected. Completely unexpected. I wasn't expecting the laughter. At first, I was buying it, like, wow, okay, so they are preoccupied, but they are saying that Yoichi-san is a messenger of Oyashiro-sama. So I was like, okay, so they totally do believe in the curse, right? And this person God exists, and so on, and you know, Onikakushi, you know, which is being demoned away, happens. Um, and I believe that that's a possibility. But they were laughing. Do they not believe in that? Maybe they don't. Maybe they do, and they are happy about it. But their laughter was, it wasn't normal, right? That wasn't a normal laughter. I refuse to believe that was normal laughter. In any case, I'm gonna end the episode right here, and I wanna go ahead and say thank you for watching this. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. We're gonna continue this journey of ours um, with you know, Hinamisawa, Keiichi, Rena, Rika, Satoko, and Mion, and figure out what exactly is going on here. But uh I'm surprised. I'm stunned. I thought that the episode all in all was interesting and very paranoid, and you know, it plants a lot of it, you know, doubts into your mind. And I'm guessing that the next one is gonna be fire. Considering the fact that they usually do this, right? They drop like a little, you know, seed, and then you see it all bloom on the next episode, on the next chapter. Um, but then I was like, okay, let me look at this tape. It usually like just gives you some information, and that's about it. The tape was super scary. The tape was incredible. It was super, super, super scary, honestly. But there you go, I guess. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye bye.